If you think your thoughts and opinions do not matter, or if you fear taking the next steps towards a better you, or if you allow other people to take free reign of your life, now is the time to put an end to these limiting beliefs. Welcome to Change Your View, a podcast that will help you take back control to have a well-lived life and the conviction that your life is to have meaning. Join Haseena Shaheed-Jackson in discussions aimed at overcoming the limitations of physical sight to see with spirit, hope, and faith. Each episode will empower you to develop the courage and self-assurance to go after the life you want. Here is your host, Haseena.
Hello, Bo. How you doing today?
Doing amazing, Haseena. How you doing?
I am excited. I am excited to have you on this show with me today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You have a powerful story, and I want listeners to know, do not turn this down, because this is a young man that I admire. He has a vision. And I asked him before we started talking, I said, tell me your vision. What did you say, Robert? What did you say your vision was?
I said, my vision is huge. It's how you want me to break it down, because it's big, it's very huge. It keeps me up at night, actually.
So expand upon that vision, because we have to have a vision. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, create a vision of who you want to be, and then live into that picture as if it was truly you. He says, so you create it and then you live it. So tell me about your vision.
Well, that's funny that you quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I've had this vision for a very long time on, and it kind of breaks down a couple of things, like how do I want to look? I've always thought about when I was younger. I used to pray all the time that I always look youthful. I'm always in good health, and I used to draw these pictures of a character, and that was always me. So back then it was braids. That was the thing. Dreadlocks wasn't too big, but now I got these dreads now, so it's like, all right, I'm where I need to be at this moment. But as far as the vision in life, period, is just to be a servant. And how do I go about doing that? I have a not-for-profit organization, and I also have a production company. Now, they all both run parallel with each other and intersect all the time, just like a eight. You know how the eight intersects at one point, but it still goes around, so it's infinite. So the production company is AGM Plus. It's originally a gold mine, and a gold mine was, and still is, the production company where we make musical compositions for artists. I started as a producer, rapper, and over time in business, having the lessons learned, money made, and challenges overcame, and challenges I didn't overcome, I still want to always make music. But one of my great artist and friend, and actually it turned out to be my cousin later on, learning in life how you just find out related to people, but he was murdered. Henry Bailey, he was murdered, and stopped me from making music. I was really in a real big funk. But at the same time I'm doing that, my wife is a phenomenal singer. Shout out to my baby Shannon Harris. She's phenomenal. And
yes, she is. Yes, she is. I have heard her sing before. She's fabulous. Yes.
Yeah, she don't play about it. She's amazing. So I'm producing and writing music for her when I get the urge, because it doesn't stop. But I'm always like, here, check it out, use this. And as she was still doing shows, I'm like, I'm gonna buy a camera to, create content around her for her brand. And while doing so, my son was also playing AAU. So I'll tape his games, and people were coming to me, hey, are you with this company? Or who are you and what do you do? So I'm like, all right, well, now birth AGM Plus. So AGM Plus was made to just create content for anybody who lead the live streaming services. If you are a public speaker, if you had a corporate event, if you were a musician, or you had sporting going on, or those who want to do podcasts and things of that nature, I provided that service. And the pandemic hit. Well, right before the pandemic, I'm sorry, I'm jumping. Right before the pandemic, I had a partner that we were doing a business where we were taking kids to play at the United Center on the court for free, and they could stay for the basketball game afterwards. Now, people were like, this is amazing event. And the way that I would promote this was driving Uber. So not only was I getting my social skills up by talking to all these random strangers, but I was also pitching this idea to everybody.
Now that's
so
amazing. I got to jump in right there because
yeah,
you are saying something that is very vital. You used your job to fund your vision. It wasn't what you wanted to do, but you found a way to use a vehicle, and personally a vehicle, a car, but you also found a way to use Uber to make connections. So go ahead with that.
So, and I do that with all my jobs, you know, I can go on that as well. It's like I said, we only got so much time, but it's the way everything works. And I'm gonna show you about that too. Just give me a moment. Okay. So, while doing Uber, I'm pitching this idea to everybody, letting everybody know what's going on. I'm getting, are you a not-for-profit? Are you a not-for-profit? I want to donate. And I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? And I'm bringing to my partner at the time, and he's like, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, why not? So he tells me his reasons for not wanting to be a not-for-profit. And I'm like, bro, this is more beneficial. We can help more people if we are a not-for-profit. We can get into schools. We can do this. We can be more of service. And he like, no. And okay, well, you know, we got to part ways. We agreed to, you know what I'm saying, go our separate ways. And I started Bailey Basketball Association, which is named after my friend who was murdered. His name was Henry Bailey, Bailey Basketball Association. And people ask me, why do I name it Bailey Basketball Association when he was a rapper? And it was like, no, if you know his story, he was more than just a rapper. The man was dope at everything. He was multi-talented. The man was an actor, a rapper. He could play basketball, but the thing about him was he was just too short. And the great thing about him is also that within everything he did, he would always bring his friends and his people along. I can help you, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying? So I took that spirit with me and that mindset and created Bailey Basketball Association. One of our first fundraisers, we got suites at the United Center for All-Star Game, had some kids up there so they can see what's going on. And now we're still doing the same thing. We're having basketball tournaments in NBA arenas, and we're also partnered with the WNBA now. So the kids get to still play on the court for free. They still get to experience the actual professional setting, meet some professional athletes, and then stay for the games afterwards. So everything ties into each other because at the same time of that, we're live streaming the game. So we'll have kids come out and live stream and learn the media aspect of it. We have people commentating now. We got a lot of good things going on. So the vision of it all in a grand scale is to be able to do this on a national level. At the same time, teaching these kids what is necessary for them to do after the jersey comes off. Because if we're giving them that professional setting and that big stage now in their youth, they don't have to say, well, if I don't make it to the league, what am I going to do? Or I never played. That what if is erased. So we're also hooking up with other not-for-profit organizations that deal with financial literacy, public speaking. Another organization that we're partnering with now deals with a nursing agency that teaches phlebotomy and things of that nature. So it's a lot of players that want to be doctors and things of that nature. So it's good for them to have that on their resume as a high schooler. Going into college, understanding how scouting works, because one of the podcasts that's under my network deals with talking to high school students and high-level high school coaches, college coaches, and also college athletes about the process of becoming a player at a D1 level or D2 or D3, or how it feels to have an NIL deal, which means they get paid as a student, high school or college, because the rules are changing, and what to do with this money. Don't think that because you're a big name now and you get $30,000, you just go buy a car. No. Just be smart about this, because if you tear your Achilles heel, then what? You're out for a season, maybe two, and you may not want to play. Things always happen, so you want to be prepared for it. So what we're doing is just creating a structure right now for these kids to understand what the options that they have, and still provide them the opportunity to still play basketball at a high level, girls and boys as well. So that's pretty much the vision.
So sound like so what you're saying what happens after you take the jersey off?
Correct.
So you're helping them also to pursue their dream of playing basketball per se, if it works out, it doesn't, but also showing them that they have options and alternatives in life.
Always about options. It's always about options. If you don't understand your options, then it's going to be hard when you fail. You know what I'm saying? When you hit that brick wall and you're, oh, woe is me, what am I to do? what can I do? These are my only options. And where we come from, those options aren't the best. So therefore, we make the wrong decision only because of our awareness of the options that are presented to us. So therefore, what we do is push out more stuff. Okay, you want to talk to somebody about some financial literacy. You want to talk to somebody about Bitcoin and things of that nature. You want to learn investing. Here, go talk to these people. You want to learn about public speaking. You want to get into politics or something like that. Here, go talk to these people. You want to do whatever you want to do. We got it. Our network is growing so fast due to this due to our podcast, Exposure Runs Podcast. Please, everybody, go check that out when you get a chance. It's spelled with X, not EX. Exposure Runs Podcast. But we just provide these kids options, man, because it's we know it's tough out here, and with the distraction of social media, we want to make sure these kids don't fail. We want them all to go to college, and if they don't have to pay for it, they ain't got to pay for it. And if they don't decide to go to college, they have a plan to, you know what I'm saying, do what's needed for them to be successful.
And that's what we really need to see, is that life has options. And I was speaking to you about this briefly. In the movie The Equalizer 2, it's just a part that always sticks into my mind. And for those who are Equalizer fans, please, Denzel played the part of McCall, and he was with this young youth, Miles, who was an artist who he had hired to paint over graffiti that was on the building outside. But Miles he didn't have a father figure. He did live with his mom, I believe.
I remember now.
But he didn't have so the streets was really his father. Mm-hmm. And so Miles was thinking that his options in life were limited. So he was hanging out with the unsavory crowd, thinking he was going to be a killer and a gangster and a drug dealer. And so McCall took a liking to this man because he believed in potential. Every person has potential. It's just a matter of us believing in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And the turning point in the movie to me was when McCall went to go rescue this young man who was sitting up in an apartment doing drugs, and he was being told he had to go shoot somebody or something. The peers was telling him he had to do some kind of unsavory task. And Miles busted into the apartment and dragged the young man out and took him downstairs into the hallway, and they were arguing. They had this altercation, and Miles, and so McCall says to Miles, "You want to be a killer? You want to be a killer?" And then McCall takes out his gun and he puts it in his hand. He says, "Well, shoot me then." And he put the gun, he says, "Shoot me. If you're a killer, be a killer and shoot me. Start with me first." And the young man looked at McCall because he couldn't do it. And then McCall says, "You are better than this." And the young man looked at him because he really didn't understand he didn't believe in him. And afterwards, they had a few more words. And then the young man said to McCall, "Why me?" And McCall looked at the young man, and he says, "Why not you?" And that's what we need to understand. Why not you? What Correct. Makes it where it cannot be you? Believe in who you can be and go for that vision, and let no one or no man stop you, because you are created for more, and it's within you to tap into that potential. Yes, I understand society can pull us down in our environment, but we have to be willing to rise up, because you have to believe in what you can control, and what you can't control is you. And I want you to share a little bit of your story, Robert, because your vision is a product of where you came from.
Indeed.
You're not where you are today. You are here today because of where you came from, because you saw that you thought your life was limited as well. So what was the turning point for you? But give a little background on who you were before you became to that turning point.
All right. So I'm what they call the best of both worlds. My mother is from the low end, South Chicago. That's pretty much the projects, if you're familiar with that. My dad's from Gary. So if you know about Gary, then you know that's crazy, and all in itself. But I also grew up in the suburbs, Richmond Park. I saw my house. I went from living in an apartment complex, being just a kid out there in Hazel Crest, having a good time, not seeing too much trouble, but gangs was pretty heavy. That's when gangbanging was pretty big. To moving to Richmond Park, I saw my house get built from the ground. So that was a whole experience. And then being around nobody but white kids at one point, right? So now I'm exposed to different aspect from not seeing any, well, it was like one white family in an apartment building to being around nothing but white kids. And it's not, and that wasn't an issue. It was actually great. I had some of my best memories were with some of those my friends from that time. And but then high school came, not junior high school came, and influence, wrong crowds. At the same time, I had my friends from Ford Heights, like a lot of my friends, some of my best friends are from Ford Heights. And, that's a rough neighborhood on itself as well. So I'm traveling in all these different worlds, low end, Gary, Richton Park, Ford Heights. My mother was like, you know what? You gotta do something else. So one of the rules, cause I used to throw these parties at my house all the time. We used to always have company. Like they hated that, but they understood what it was because they didn't have a lot for us to do as kids. So we had a big enough house. We just everybody in my house. And I used to get a lot of trouble for that. My parents didn't want me having people over the house, but I still do it because I had to be a socialite. People just was like, I don't know. I don't know if that was like I yearned for that, but I know that was just the natural situation that was going on. And it still happens to this day. But in the streets, I never went to jail, to God be the glory, but I had my fair share of doing things that could be looked at and frowned upon. Let's leave it at that.
No, we're not here to hash that, but the thing is, you were doing things that you should not have been doing.
For sure. And that carried on with me to college because during school, I was so busy being cool. I didn't really care about the grades, you know what I'm saying? It was just, where the girls at, man? What we doing this at? Where the money at? You know what I'm talking about? We don't really care about the grades, but I'm naturally intelligent, like most of us are. Tell a lot of my friends, like when we were younger, and some of the kids now, like, our dope boys, y'all the chemists, man. Y'all don't even understand. You got a block or you got a hustle and you selling what you selling. That's what an entrepreneur does. You doing checks and balances. You know what a whole financial report, just not put it on paper. You understand your losses, your gains. You understand product inventory. That's what a whole boss does. You don't even understand what you're doing. So I break it down to them like that. But anyway, get to college, and I ended up I saw the worst of me there because I had free range and I didn't have my parents telling me come in, do whatever, none of that. I just was whatever that was in me at that time was just had freedom to.
You had no boundaries. You just did whatever you wanted to do. You just did whatever you wanted to do.
I'm telling you, and that it was bad. No, it really was bad. I can't even sugarcoat it.
That's okay. We don't have to share, but you just had
it was really bad. So I come back though, but let me tell you. So I come back home and I calm down on one end, but turn up on another. You know what I'm saying? And it's not in a positive way. So God speaks to me in many ways. And I had this dream one day, and God was like, man, the police about to run in your house. They gonna find what you got. And this ain't your house, it's your mama house. It's your mama and daddy house. So once they find this, y'all gonna lose this house. You're gonna go to jail. Not only are you gonna try to escape how you want to escape, but you're gonna break your legs in the process. So after you escape and you still go to jail, you'll be handicapped for the rest of your life.
God gave you this long story. God gave you this long story. Oh my God.
The dream was so detailed. Like the dream was so detailed. And I can see it now as I'm talking to you about it. But I'm like, you know what? It's going out of business sale. Everybody come get it. You know what I'm saying? Come get whatever I got. It's going out of business sale. And ever since then, I gotta figure out a way to get some money outside the streets. And that's when I started the record company, the production company, the rapping and all that stuff. Figured out my musical talents that I always had, started making music, and all these things that were in me that I either suppressed or just ignored started coming out. My natural instinct for business started flourishing in more ways than one. And more people wanted me to be involved in their business. I helped them with setting up stuff. And my father, he runs financial services. So I'm setting up LLCs for my friends, helping them with their taxes, business and personal. I'm just scaling and scaling and scaling. And at the same time, like we were saying, it's not taught to us to be literate or aware of financial literacy. So by me being with my dad, working with him, it allowed me to translate this to those we don't have to understand, what a W-2 is and an I-9 and breaking the forms down in the layman's term, what I'm saying, in the literal term. I can break it down to you as if we're chopping it up on a block, what I'm saying? So they understand, oh, okay, yeah, you do this on the front end, you get this on the back end. Oh, okay, yeah, if you do this and write this off, you get, oh, okay, it's better. So it's helping a lot of people. And then I just realized like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, because I can't go back to the streets. I ain't gonna. I don't want to lose my legs. I don't want to be a drug dealer. I don't want to be a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw that around me as well. I don't want to be none of that. You know, it's just not in me. And yeah, I can do it if I wanted to, because I believe I can be successful in anything I want to do. But how is it helping people? How is it glorifying God? How is this going to benefit me in the long run? I'm trying to live a long time, and observations that show a lot of cats who do what they're doing, they don't live too long. The chances are very, very slim. If it ain't the streets that kill you or a bullet, it's either health choices that take you out early. So yeah, I had to cut all that out and just figure out another way.
So
and
it looks like
life of my journey.
So it
Figure it
looks
out.
like what you're saying to me is that you had God had a talk with you in your dream.
Yeah.
That allowed you to realize what your superpower is.
Yeah, and me understanding that, it took me a while to actually get it, because he had more than one talk. That was just the first one. And that ain't the only one. Trust me, when I'm dead set on something, I'm like whatever to everything. This is what I'm doing, because this is what I want to do. My wife says it's selfish, but it's like, that's not necessarily selfish. I'm living my life, and what I do is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do how I want to do it, because that's what it works best for me that way. Mm-hmm. So, but God to sit me down all the time. I mean, did it that much because I'm better. I learned a lot. My mama used to say, yeah, I learned the hardest lessons. I don't have to learn it. I don't have to go through it to learn what I need to learn. I just be going the hard way. So once I started understanding that, and I changed my ways on that as well. But it takes the natural step to understanding, like, all right, this is what I don't. My mama always said, just understand what you don't want. Because I always talk to her about all this stuff. She understand what you don't want. And once you understand what you don't want, put yourself in the position to get far away from that as possible. True. And then you'll end up where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So
right. Yeah. The whole thing is, and I even flip it around another way. Figure out what you do want and then do more of that.
But in my case,
but in your man, but in your case, it had to be do what you don't want to do.
I don't want to go to jail.
So I love what you said when God showed you in your dream that your legs was gonna be broke, they was gonna come in there and take all the stuff out your.
I love to dance, all that stuff. Yeah,
you didn't want that was your deterrent, because he painted a vision that was an ugly picture that you did not want to see happen. And that fueled you to go into the path that you needed to go in.
For sure. That was the turning point. Now that was the turning point. That dream was most definitely the turning point. But like I said, as I went along on my journey, taking these steps, more of the vision was relayed. Okay, since you didn't do this, let me show you this. Mm-hmm. All right, since you didn't do that, let me show you this. Right. Now you're doing this. Let me show you where else you can go. Let me show you further and further down. Now we're at the point right now, like I say, we're doing everything with the production company and the not-for-profit. These are things that I don't play basketball. And come on now. If you know me, you know I can do whatever I want to set my mind to, but setting my mind to playing basketball just wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not let my homies do that. I'm not going to get out here and play basketball. So, but me having the network that I have in the basketball community right now, my friends still don't see it possible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can just how to respond to stuff like, how are you talking to this coach? How you? It's always, how are you? You know what I'm saying? How were you? And not why are you, but how are you? Because at first it was why are you, but now they understand why. So now it's a how are you, because God is just opening every door for me. And I'm not shy to walk into my purpose, and never have I been. So it's like, oh, this is what we're doing. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? This is what I have to talk to. Let's talk. This is what we need to raise money for. Let's raise. This is what I need to help. Let's help. You know what I'm saying? And it's never been an issue of fear. When things become uncertain and I get a little anxious or worried, I got to go right back to praying and all that stuff. But God is totally guiding me on this. Like, for real, all this stuff is new to me.
You said something that was really vital that I want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
The how. A lot of times we get stuck on the how because of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And taking us in a direction that we've never been. Like, I love what you said, where you're able to still go out and meet people that you've never met before, and you don't allow the fact that you don't know them to stop you. So tell me, how do you, because we have people who are afraid to step forward and doing something because of the how. What do you do to make yourself go out and do that? How? To make a connection with someone that you don't even know, and you don't really know what their response could be there. And I'm sure you've gotten rejected, because we
Of
all
course,
do. So
of
what did you
course.
do to keep going when you suffer rejection and still keep pressing forward to making another connection with someone that you needed? Because you, in your business, you have to make connections in order to give referral, to refer people to someone else for to
Indeed,
helping them. So
indeed.
expand on that.
So two things with that. It was a book that I read in my journey. Like I said, it's been a step-by-step situation. My journey, I came across a book. If you just give me a moment to find it, it's called, I think it's called Rejection. And Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. I read that book, and it was pretty much telling about a guy who was at his, when he was dealing with it very badly. He was, I'm just trying something different. So he would put himself on a task every day to do something that just terrified him as far as talking to people. And come to find out, it wasn't bad. And he ended up helping his wife, helping a lot of people with this task. I'm gonna find the book in my phone. Give me a second. I don't want to stop the interview and nothing like that, but I'll make sure I let you know about it. It's a great book. So that helped me. But then another thing on my journey, Uber. Uber and that was a tool that was just helped me in so many levels. But not only did it help me provide for my family, but it also helped me pitch. But you gotta understand, I'm getting, if I'm working Uber, I'm in a car with strangers all day, all night, whenever I'm driving. And not only do I need to make sure they cool so I can get my 5 stars, but I also want a tip. So I gotta learn how to talk to anybody and everybody and to make them so comfortable that they also give me a good review, give me a nice tip, and I can go on about my day. You know what I'm saying? So that taught me a lot. Dealing with strangers every day for about 2 years, night, day, white, black, old, young, Indian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, teachers, businessmen, stockbrokers, thugs, drunks, party and all, whatever. And it allowed me the opportunity to just try it and see where it gets you, because you still gonna get paid regardless. And if it goes well, you get extra money. If it goes well, you might meet somebody new. You might get a new follower. You get a new supporter. It goes well, but you never know who may be able to help you along your journey. And it has worked. It has worked. I know the city like the back of my hand now. Like, I'm telling you, I know restaurant owners. I know a lot of do the Uber. Like, Uber helped me out immensely. Like, if they would give me a sponsorship right now, I can sell Uber so well because of how much it helped me. It doesn't make any sense how much it helped. Like, I used to remember in Toastmasters when I used to do the contest. I used to talk about Uber stories. Like,
Yes.
it was amazing how much of an asset Uber was to me at that time. So if I and sometimes I think people miss that about where they are in their journey, where God has them placed, or you know what I'm saying, like, if you really pay attention to how many ways where you're at or your job, or you know what I'm saying, is helping you, man, you capitalize on that, it turns, because no, we're not where we are for just no reason. Everything has a reason. We're where we are in our life for a specific
For a
reason. If we
reason.
really
Yes.
get in on that, tap into that, oh, this is helping me do this and this and this and this. Like, we're talking about my business right now, but in a few hours, I'm gonna have to go be a chemist at my job. How does being a chemist help me? Oh, to show kids, hey, you may not be able to think that you are smart enough to be a chemist, but I never took a chemistry class a day in my life. And they, what? Yeah, and I'm a whole chemist. Oh, you may not think you'd be able to work a job and still do these massive things in the community, but check me out. Oh, shorty, you want to be a chemist? Let me put you in tune with this lab that you could be an intern at. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many ways that you can tap in and see how you can be useful to a lot of people and be a better servant out here. So, yeah.
Sounds like what you're saying is taking everything that you do and seeing the opportunities and possibilities.
Because I'm an opportunist. I'd be like, I'd be a fool to tell you that I am not. Make sure that I'm very aware of what's going on in my life at that moment in my life. Because like I said, I'm a servant. So I got to make sure that I understand, why am I here? What is my assignment here? And how can I help while I'm here? You understand? So
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree, because at the end of the day, I recently taught, facilitate, I shouldn't say taught, I did a facilitation on create plus vision equal possibilities. And the whole thing is that you have to have that vision, be willing to create it in order to see the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you'll stay stuck in the whole hum life, not really ever truly realizing who you can be and believing in who you can become.
Mm-hmm. And you know what taught me that? Working in factories, becoming a chemist.
See?
Talking to older people who worked in factories for 15, 20 years and seeing their health problems and what their complaints and their shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And it's like, nah, can't be me. I got to figure something else out. I got to, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it was the journey, man. The journey was amazing. The journey is amazing. The journey is amazing.
And I love what you say, because, and I know you're trying to find the book title, The Journey. You're dropping so many interesting nuggets along the way. The journey is very important. We can easily get stuck.
Sorry about that. My
That's
kids
okay. That's all right. We can easily get stuck into thinking, when we go down a path, that's not a path we should go. However, that path is part of the journey.
Exactly.
And so you have to embrace each leg upon the way that gets you to where you ultimately need to be.
Exactly.
So I love what you said. You started off, you were doing some things in your life, and God had to talk with you. And I'm a person of faith. I understand God. One time he had to hit me over the head. We won't go to my story. This is about you.
You don't want to get whooped by God. I try to tell everybody that you don't want to get whooped by God.
Right. God will hit you over the head. So the other thing is that he had that talk with you and gave you that, painted that vision to you so vividly that you still remember it to this day. For everything you have is going to be gone, and your mom and dad are going to be on the streets. Do you want that to happen? And your answer is a resounding no.
Big no. Like, do you think this thing that you're doing right now is going to be able to take care of you after that? Because it's going to be bad.
Right.
Your mother, your father, and your sister ain't gonna have this house that you watched get built. This ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I couldn't do that.
He helps you turn around. Then you move to, now you're helping kids, the youth, which is powerful, because our youth is the backbone of our country. It's our future leaders. You're helping them see, yes, if you want to play basketball, I'm going to introduce you to that system. However, you need to understand that there's life after the jersey. So what do you really want to do with the talent that's in you? I mean, I look at even Jordan, and I'm bad with names on the basketball players, but Jordan, and there's another player that comes to mind who, excuse me, viewers, if I get stuck, because I'm not an athletic person. But the point is that each athlete finds that there's life after the game, and you're helping our youth to see that there's life after the game. Yes, you can be that ball player, but however, what you going to do? What are you going to do with your funds after you get finished playing ball?
You know what's amazing about that? A lot of athletes go broke. A very large number of athletes that go broke. That's why we do what we're doing. Not only with our events and tournaments, we do them at the high level event because we understand how saturated these events are, and how these kids are under a lot of pressure, not only due to their parents, but the schedules they're under, the stress that comes within these circuits. Sometimes, parents get to arguing with each other. It's competitive, so that energy is a lot. And then at the same time, you put them in these high level events so they can, they want to all be seen. They all want to be seen by these coaches. They all want highlights and exposure. And it's hard to do that when you're in a space where it's 30 teams playing in the tournament. You understand? It's hard. 50 teams in a tournament over a weekend. No coaches are going to see that. So we're just showing them this is the line you follow. And how do we know this is the line you follow? Because we're talking to coaches that have coached NBA players that have won multiple state championships back to back to back to back to back, male and female. We're talking to the people that you need to talk to, that you maybe not have access to, but now that we're doing something like how we're doing, you now have a blueprint if you just sit back, take in information, and just watch. And you'll be good. We just recently did an event with the grind session 2 weekends ago, and Scottie Pippen was there talking to the kids. So it's like, and he's saying the same thing. I made some money, but we're doing this to make sure that you all understand that when that jersey comes off, you need to have a plan, because agents can rob you, accountants can rob you, your manager can rob you, your family can suck you dry. And if you don't have a plan for that, then what are you going to do? Like, we're planning, so a couple programs, I'll just give you exclusive, like a couple programs we're planning right now. Like, when kids try out for these high schools and these teams, we get about 60 to 100 kids to try out for a team of 12. So what happens to these 80 some kids after that? They need another option. They need something to do. So therefore, we're going to start an intramural program where we're getting these kids not only a place to play basketball and be occupied with proper training, and at the same time being able to play on a nice level event, you know what I'm saying, in the arena, and still get exposure from not only the high school coaches that may have overlooked you due to the fact of the large number of kids that try it out, but also college coaches can see you. This is just another avenue that we're creating. At the same time, we're going to have panels where we're talking to players that had the limelight on them and blew it,
That's
messed
wonderful.
up, so they can see what's going on, so they don't make the same mistake.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, like I said, we're trying to prepare these kids for an amazing future, because, like I said, they don't understand their options. And when they don't understand their options, they get bored. And when they get bored, they only go on the options that they know, and that ain't good.
You're right.
It's not good. We're not, the music that they provide us with, the entertainment they provide, that's not good. You can see, you can ask how many kids are reading books. You can look and tell if they're reading or not.
Right.
They can tell you the music they're listening to. You understand? And if you listen to the music they're listening to, it's like, oh yeah, my boy. No. We gotta change it up. We gotta introduce you to something new. You know, my parents, they had me in Boy Scouts and things of that nature. So I saw a lot of stuff. I was exposed to a lot of things, which gave me the foresight and insight to be like, all right, I may not like this, but this is another option. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, these kids need that. And that's all we're trying to provide out here.
No, I mean, and you know, one thing you're saying that comes to mind is that Nelson Mandela says, vision with action can change the world. Vision with action can change the world. And that sticks with me, because what you have is a vision that can change our world. It's changing the world and helping our youth to see that there's other possibilities.
For sure.
You know, we allow society to hold us back, to make us think that our potential is limited, and our limitations in life are based on only what someone tells us we can do. Instead, we have to see that there's unlimited potential. I always think of the athlete who had polio, who was told that she was never going to walk. But she turned around and she became not only a walker, but a runner, and she won gold medals. And we can't allow what someone tells us to put that negativity in our mind and make us think that we can't be more than that. We have to believe in that person that's within. And I think, to me, that's what God was saying to you when he spoke to you in that dream. Son, I didn't create you for this.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I created you for a purpose. And him showing you where you were going was your wake-up call to move you in the path of your potential. So I want you to share one final story with me, because one thing that you said, because we're wrapping up here, is you actually brought a relative in, and I want you to share his response in seeing just how you changed his perspective in just that one meeting.
Yeah, so usually when I do my events, I have my family with me. I have a family, a large family, and we always, it's a family business. So every time I do something, my family's with me. And the weekend before, I was talking to one of my cousins, and she was telling me about her son. As you know, he's in the streets and he's having a little trouble eating this and that. And he was in this, I want to say, in a group home or something like that. And he was coming home. So I'm like, tell him to call me. So he called me. Well, we actually talked that day. And I was like, hey man, what's going on? We chopped it up for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, so you coming home? He's like, yeah, I'll be home this week. I'm on a Wednesday. I said, all right, Friday, you and me. Okay, that's one of them. And that day I'll tell my event at the Wintrust Arena. So you're with me on Friday. He's like, all right, what we doing? So you chilling with me? He said, all right. So we're having an event. We're going back and forth. He's trying to get out of it, making all these excuses. I'm calling your Uber. What? Don't even worry about it. You got a ride coming your way. So I'm calling him Uber. He in the arena. And he's like, what's going on? He walks in. He sees that we have the whole arena to ourselves. The girls are playing basketball because it was an all-girl event that day. So we had the girls playing basketball. He sees the live stream going on. He sees his family. And he's like, man, this is what you do. And yeah, this is one of my companies. This is what we do. We have these girls come out. They get exposure. These are and these girls are hooping. It's not like we got scrubs. Like, no. These are top athletes going crazy on this court. So not only are they getting exposure and understanding how it's going to be on a professional college and professional level, they're having a good time and learning. He's also seeing it like, man, this is different. You can see it on his face. His face is just lit up. So
light bulb. He had the aha light bulb.
Yeah. So we end up going to lunch, and we're eating lunch, and he sees famous rapper Chance the Rapper, and my daughter's like, that's Chance the Rapper. I'm like, no, that's his brother. And they're like, no, it's him. I'm like, no, it's his brother, but still go meet him. He directs videos. He a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up meeting Chance the Rapper's brother. Forgive me for not knowing his name.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'm bad with names too.
Yeah, I'm getting bad. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But so he gets
I'm bad too.
So they get to meet some, they take a picture and all that good stuff. And then he comes back in. We go back in. He sees me getting everybody, because that was the time for the game. So he sees me talking to people that are the parents of the kids and the staff at the Wintrust, and make sure everybody gets in an orderly fashion. They get their merch and all that stuff. And he's like, man, this is really y'all. I'm like, yeah. So we sit in this whole section. This whole section is us. Go ahead and have you a seat wherever you like. You know what I'm saying? And let me know if you hungry or want something. He's like, all right, cuz, thank you, cuz. And man, that little kid was so happy to be in that, walking around, because he had free range. I'm not gonna, I mean, he's a kid, so I'm not like just letting him run loose. But you know what I'm saying? He's got my son's 19, his other cousins are older, so they all walking around, and he's chilling with the older kids, the older boys, and they walking around the whole arena. They're meeting folks, talking, and just being just exposed to that whole situation. I think that was his first WNBA game. You know what I'm saying? And so he went from seeing his first WNBA game and then also seeing his cousin have a whole event in front of that. And he's like, man, cuz they told me about you, but I ain't know it was like this. I heard about how you get down and back in the day and yada yada yada, but I didn't know that you was doing this. I said, yeah, man, we got options, cuz. So, you know, I know how you thinking, you know, that drilling and all that stuff is what it is, man. But no, cuz, that ain't the way. You understand me? That ain't the way. You were just somewhere where you thought you didn't even know you was getting out. They're gonna feed you pills, they're gonna put you on all this stress. Boy, you don't need that, my boy. Come on this side. This is a little different over here. This is what happens over here. He like, man, cuz, I got you for sure. So his mama was super excited. She kept raving about it, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing good. So, you know, I just like, you gotta expose these kids to stuff, man.
I would say that one moment.
Yeah.
That one, I shouldn't say moment, but that one event helped change his perspective.
For sure. For sure.
And that's what it's all about. How we can change our perspective in life. Don't go where someone is leading you. Go instead where he is leading you. And I say he, the Father.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And go where your heart and your gut is telling you to go. Because that is what's important. Because you can become whoever you want to if you just believe in that vision.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to what Arnold says, have that vision and then act like it, and it will come true.
Yeah. Then I'm a living testament to that.
Yes.
There's no other way around it. Like I say, I've always saw myself how I wanted to look as a shorty, as a kid, but I always knew. My mother shows me this. So she showed me this a while ago when I was in like a kid, and you know, what you want to be when you grow up. And then mine said a movie star or a star. And as I got older, I was like, I don't really want fame. I mean, I know a lot of people like to be a big deal, but I don't really want the fame. I'd rather be in the background just helping. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be the just the background. I can't think. There's a lot of people that I look up to, and all their names are just not in my mind right now. And it's,
I know. I understand.
but yeah, just in the background, being much as an impact as those who are in the front. Because sometimes it's always masking, smoking mirrors, and you never know who's really calling the shots. And I've come to find out, and as I continue to grow, oh, you're not even the man. You're just the spokesman of the man. The man is this guy. You know what I'm saying? And guess who I'm talking to now? The man. You know what I'm saying? As I'm consistently meeting these people, it just puts me in a bigger position to help more people.
I love it.
I'm just excited about everything we got going on right now.
And I thank you. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, to find out about your program, how can they find out?
Yeah, you can go to BaileyBasketball.org, BAILEY basketball.org. That is how you get in touch for the not-for-profit. A Goldmine website is currently being reconstructed, but you can most definitely find me on Instagram at a Goldmine, AGOLMIND.
All right. Well, I thank you for our talk today. And I know this is powerful because it's going to help someone. Someone is going to get a different view. And if we touch one person, that one person will touch another.
We won. We touched one. We helped one. We won. Because that was our job to help somebody. We ain't got to help everybody, but somebody.
Be that one somebody. That's all we need.
That's all we asking, So it's all good.
Thank you
I
for your
appreciate
time
this, though.
today.
This is amazing.
Yes, I thank you for your time today, Robert.
It's all good, Haseena. Thank you.
This concludes this episode of Change Your View. Let this conversation help you navigate life's challenges, emerging from that seemingly endless pause that you are experiencing. Regain command of your own path and resist being boxed in. Visit hsjackson.com for more inspiring and eye-opening discussions. Stop walking in the shadows of other individuals. No longer allow inferior perspectives to brainwash you. Do not be forgotten. You have the authority and power over you. Make the most of your abilities. Thank you for listening. Until next time.